I'm being interviewed by the right people.
Thank you.
I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Gross. It's pretty gross, actually. Yeah, that's true. Gaslight, manipulate, ejaculate.
Gaslight, manipulate, ejaculate.
I don't actually like this characteristic.
You know, I was
Don't
saving
like
that.
ejaculating.
I was saving that for
But I
something
have to.
really important, and the fact that you just like wasted it on a podcast episode. We're rolling now.
We wasted?
We've got Cryo up in our midst. Can I use your real Christian name?
Oh yes, of
God-given
course.
name.
Oh well,
My
then
God-given
again,
name.
welcome. I kept on getting it wrong because I'm really bad with names, but Martin
What
reminded
is
me.
it, Jesse?
Jesse Whitney? What?
No, not Whitney.
Cryo Haley, correct?
Yeah, it's Haley. I'm actually named after a comet, so it's pretty cool.
Ooh.
It's not just a girl's name.
Oh, that's cool. That's
I
like being
that's
named
the
after
one.
a song or something.
Yeah,
When's the next
yeah.
time it'll come around, like 150 years?
It's every 75,
Yeah,
correct?
something like that. Yeah. It came in 1986, which is when I was born. So,
That's
yeah.
Nice.
celestial naming.
I actually have a really interesting story about my birthday, but I can't share it because it would dox my birthday.
Oh, darn.
9/11.
Okay.
It was.
It's really good. I'll tell you someday behind the
Yeah, you
scenes,
can tell me some other time.
and that's for
Yeah.
that's
That's
great.
just a little personal lore.
That's great content for us right now. Yo, any listeners who want to hit my DMs, don't do that. That sounds weird.
Anyways,
But yeah,
You're
thanks
my
for
favorite.
joining us. Yeah, let's get into that. Well, I should introduce you by saying that you're a fish tank fan like me, and what I'm trying to indoctrinate Martin into the past
very
year.
casual.
But you're a content creator on YouTube. You've been doing it for a hell of a long time, and yeah, you were like what the top image of the fish tank thread on 4chan at least a few times.
Oh wow, you have records?
Yeah,
I don't know this lore,
like,
so
I
I'm
mean,
learning on the fly here. Just so you know.
well,
to
like,
educate you.
Feel
I
free
think,
to like. This is like Bethesda game shit. Like this is like world building for me. It's like I want to know the CryoKeen lore.
okay. The lore.
'Cause
Yeah, I
this
mean, I
guy's
don't
a
know who,
champion.
like, I made, like, a couple of those threads, but I think other people made threads and used my image, too, so...
Okay.
Right,
Like,
right. No, I know
was a
someone else who got.
participant, but I didn't make all of them, you know,
You're
so...
getting
You did make some
Yeah.
of them yourself,
You're
okay?
buzzing, you're
Yeah,
buzzing.
no, it
I
does.
did.
It takes a little bit of popping off to get on there. If anyone who knows Fish Tank really, if you know Fish Tank, you know the 4chan threads. It's just how it goes.
I definitely agree with that. Most, I'd say like half Fish Tank fans are like into the Twitter and the 4chan and the lore, but I'd say like every time a new season comes on, there's all these new people that don't know all the lore, so...
Yeah, I
Oh, like-
don't go on Reddit or anything. So I
Yeah,
don't
he's
really-
Martin's like not a
I just
4chaner
hear-
either.
I just hear stuff like.
So he was like a
Word of
season
mouth.
2 Twitter person, I guess, kind of.
Kind of. Well, I don't know.
Okay, welcome
Yeah, I
aboard.
was just
Welcome
on
aboard.
Twitter. Yeah, I was kind of.
Oh, we'll get him. We'll get him. It's a slow, deep frog boiling.
No, it definitely took over my I started using Twitter more because of the first season, I think, and stuff. I didn't
Nice.
use Twitter.
Me
before.
too, actually.
I never used
Me too.
Twitter.
Interesting.
And you got me into it. Like, I just started using it more. I never used it until after it turned to X.
I've been addicted to Twitter for 5 years probably.
Yeah, so
But
just,
it's very fun.
It's an escape. And
It's been the best part about Twitter in the past year, for sure.
Cause it's
Oh,
like,
honestly,
it's off to
I
the
agree. I mean, Fish Tank made Twitter fun again, or like twice
It's-
as fun, you know?
Yeah, it was like shit's.
And
there's, like, a
Elon
network
Musk's
of
Twitter.
people around, you gotta send shit.
Oh, totally. Elon Musk's Twitter really gives you like the freedom to post things that are edgy, and they'll tell you, like, seriously, if it's over the edge, they'll tell you. But they let you have some freedom. I've been on YouTube since 2007, and that platform has done a 180 from freedom
Dude.
to completely clamping down
Yeah,
and
I
kicking
was
people
just
off the
ta-
platform.
You were just talking about
I was
this.
just
Yeah.
talking about this in the car. My friend used to like his videos would just accrue views over like long periods of time, and once in a while he'd just get a check for like 170 or a couple $100 or something. Because you didn't need like 1,000 subscribers or like 1 million views or anything. YouTube would just pay you, and there was like no ads still and stuff. And now it's you need like such a big channel, and if you get like 2 strikes, you're like out forever, and you can't make a new account or something. It's so
Yeah, it was
strict.
before the
You have to
Logan
be
Paul
a
incident.
professional. Oh god, and that's
Yeah,
just so
the
annoying.
quality is
Like
like, yeah,
they
you have to-
punish
you
all
have
the
to have a
small
full-
subscribers, and they like let him stay. So it's like, what the fuck?
Dude, you literally
Oh,
right,
yeah.
you have to have such a high production quality, and before it was like
He's too
There's-
big to fail.
who Jake-
Someone like
He's too big to
all
fail.
those people,
yeah.
like
Well, he ruined
PewDiePie,
it.
Mr.
When
Beast.
they did the Suicide Force, it ruined monetization, and then they reset all
Yeah.
of. They restricted how your channel has to be.
Well, and then
what-
Google bought
what
them at
minimum-
some point, right?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the new requirements to get money from YouTube was so much more work and so much.
They
Like, you needed like
they
4K.
kept upping the
Sorry.
requirements. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
it was
it's like-
crazy.
and now they had like 5-second ads, and you can skip it, and now it's like 3 30-second ads. They're like really trying to get people to all buy red and stuff.
Yeah,
It's, like,
I always
so
like to
money-hungry.
I always like to reminisce about how I think it was between 2006 or 2008, one of those years, but the Time Magazine Person of the Year was literally you, quote unquote you, YOU.
Oh yeah,
And it's at
oh,
the
you're
time
right.
YouTube was owned by Time Warner.
Yeah, it was literally about like you posting your life or something. Like,
Yeah,
That's
and I know that because
mind-blowing,
my
man.
dad was an employee at AOL Time Warner in like the early 2000s, so I just.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's funny. He used to sell those, those like weird guitar rock, 80s guitar rock compilations and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he would be on the phones selling those to people. Great. I love it.
Yeah, it's interesting how like you learn all these little tidbits about what industry you're like. If you're lucky enough to have a parent, and like my dad was in Microsoft for a big while, so like I'd go on campus and shit, and they have like free drinks and candy, or at least they used to, and you could steal off the
Oh,
supplies.
damn.
It was great.
At one point, my mom was like a security guard on
Oh yeah, she was at Microsoft.
it was Microsoft, but like I wasn't like, I don't know if I was old. I don't think I was maybe before I was born or something, but like she had like hush things, like she's not supposed to talk about certain sectors and shit, and like there was like this dude, she talked about this incident that like freaked me the fuck out. She had to be evacuated. She wasn't supposed to be in a spot, and like the security was like, get out of there, because there was like microwave radiation and shit, and it was like before the internet actually started up.
Whoa.
Oh,
And
wow,
it was like
cool.
before it was
Wow.
called like World Wide Web, it was called like Information
There's like some
Highway.
DARPA shit,
And
like
she wasn't allowed to talk
Yeah.
about the old code name and shit, and she had like a fucking
Yeah.
they were
contract, and
experimenting
then
with
they were, like,
radioactive internet.
well, something was going off in the building, and they were like, "Get the fuck out of there!" And like she
the
wasn't
fuck
supposed to be
out.
there, like it was like nuclear shit or something, and I have no idea what
Yeah.
what it was still. Like, and it was like before the
Dude, your
internet
mom
came
got
out.
radiated.
Like, well, yeah,
Awesome.
dude,
That's
like
crazy.
Wi-Fi or something, like early Wi-Fi experience. I don't even know.
Nuclear internet.
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
could have been
crazy.
literally like 5G testing.
But yeah, like this,
Yeah,
like
could've
our
been,
state,
could've
like Microsoft transformed the state, and like I think their campus used to be like a rally. Like my stepdad was talking about how like there used to be dirt tracks for like dirt bikes and shit, and then that became like Microsoft. Like everybody was just riding around outside on like dirt bikes and shit in like the 80s and 90s and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
outside. And then it
Around
was all,
Seattle?
like mud and dirt. And
I used to do
racetracks
that
and
shit, like around the North Seattle area,
Yeah,
for
I don't
sure.
know if you remember that. Like the 90s, they had like more like go karts and like random shit. I guess I don't know.
There was
dirt bike.
woods right behind my house.
Snowboarding.
It's all like cul-de-sacs now. Okay, so
Yeah,
talking
it
about
is
YouTube
technology.
though, I want to bring it back to YouTube, Time Warner, Google, Megaplex, Skynet.
Hell yes.
Didn't you just recently get demonetized on YouTube?
For old
Yeah,
videos,
like,
they struck
yeah,
old
it's a
videos. And, yeah.
it's a handful. I'll tell you if you want, but
Yeah. I think it's in the video, but I was perusing your YouTube. I'm not sure if I got to that one.
No problem. I mean, what's your understanding of the situation? Then I'll fill in the gaps.
Well, it sounds like Martin knows more about it.
I just saw like you had videos from like a while ago, like years ago, that they now detected with their system.
I would assume it's a
And then
mass
you just-
reporting
they
issue.
Just like gave you strikes for each one, so it just went over the limit or something. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I
And then
figure
it's just-
there's like, yeah, I think you're kind of right. I think there's like two systems. There's like a public system that the creator can see, like how many strikes you have and stuff like that. And then I think there's got to be a secret system, a secret
Oh, yeah.
ranking system for each user page. How often they recommend the page to others? Is this a right-wing creator? Is this a left-wing creator,
Oh, yeah,
etc.?
they
Because I
do
used to
all
be
that.
really left-wing, like back in 2007 when I started it, and my mom, God bless her soul, is still a Democrat.
They
but,
have this thing called interests on Facebook and stuff. It's everything
Yeah.
they track your use, and then they
Yeah,
give
yeah.
you little like topic labels.
Oh,
and then
that was a
that's
thing on
attached to your
Twitter
internet
for a
use,
while.
and that goes around to
Topic
other
label.
websites, and they pass it around. So like they
Yeah.
figure out your political leanings.
It's
they'll
probably
figure
the
out,
same
Oh,
list that
yeah.
Facebook shares with Twitter, honestly.
based on.
Oh yeah, they
everything,
probably
your
they have
metadata.
to share it because they're all like
It's all connected.
co-intel under the NSA shit.
and that was fucked
all
up too,
connected.
because I
They're all
remember
passing
it
along
was
and
probably
selling it to each other.
it was probably the most like frustrating experience, like physically. That's when I realized I probably have like some anxiety disorder or something, because you would have to go and individually uncheck
Yes, on
each
Facebook.
interest.
You could go and look at it on Facebook,
And it's
and
like,
it would
no,
show
I don't
you,
want
like,
you to
it
fucking,
would show
like-
you like 400 little things for each topic, and like mine was like.
You guys
it
gotta
was,
get
like,
off Facebook. I got off Facebook years ago on my
Oh, I'm not
channel.
on
I know.
Facebook. I tell him the same
I'm just
thing.
saying, like that's.
I'm on
that's one
Facebook
thing.
for like one very specific reason. It's like,
It was just
Yeah, I
like one
think
of
that's,
those.
like,
It was
everybody.
one of those things where it's like you can actually like see how they collect like your data and like create a.
I'm sure it's
profile
fine
based
as
on,
like a
what you
social
like.
media
Profile.
platform.
Yes,
Yeah.
to guess everything that you'd possibly like, basically, or do, or be
Yeah.
interested in, and all this shit.
But
Yeah.
here, let me summarize my demonetization in about a minute. I changed my entire channel to acquiesce to their demands to be monetized, because to be monetized on YouTube these days, you have to show your face. You have to basically be, if not show your face, you have to have really good production quality videos, or else they won't monetize you. If you don't have, even if you have the amounts.
Yeah.
And so I changed my channel. I deleted like 20% of my entire archive. I had a really nice Sam Hyde video that was like 700,000 views. It was like Sam Hyde is in his car, just like giving advice or whatever, like get a job or get a trade skill or something. And I had to
Yeah.
delete
the
that.
one that's like learn, where he says
Yes.
he's probably said it a million times, but he's like learn
Just
hazmat or
because
something.
The association like ruins like your chances at growth.
Yeah,
That's where the Jimmy Downey
it was that
forklifting
one.
certifications
So stupid.
thing sort of came from, right? Get a forklift
That's all
Kinda.
it
certification.
is, it's like permit. Yeah, they just look at your whole archive, and then it's just like, oh.
But yeah, I had to change my entire channel, and they finally accepted me into their monetization program after not being in it for so many years. And I did okay. And what they really hate is if you go over a certain line. And I posted like I don't know, a video from 4chan, which was stupid, of like the Houthi rebels storming a cargo ship. There's no like actual physical violence in the video. It was cool because they're getting off the helicopter and they got their guns out. And they were like, nope, you're out of the monetization program. You posted terrorist propaganda. I'm like, what
I don't
the
even
fuck?
know about the Houthi. Are the Houthis like good? Or I try not to even.
They're like anti-Israel right now. I think they're from Yemen.
Oh,
So anything
yeah, the
anti-Israel,
Houthi,
they will
fucked up
target you on
recently.
YouTube. Yeah. Well, it's just like anything anti-Israel, they will target you. I think I have like some people on my YouTube that like really don't like me, and they strike every single video.
So
So-
that's what I was saying though. Is that like it's
That could be
you're
it
damned
too.
if you
mass
do,
reporting.
damned if you don't. Just trying to
Really
be
odd.
The thing about
your
YouTube
own
too is
person.
like if somebody claims that like you've uploaded, like they could just take a totally original video and be like, "That's mine," and then it's up to
And they
you.
can make
YouTube
money
takes their
and-
hands off, and then they're like, "You guys go to court. We don't want to deal with it," and then like so you're just
It's
fucked
like
over.
the
Like
squatter shit
they
happening right
never
now. Like
back you up.
Oh,
squatters'
what's the
rights
deal
and
with the
shit.
squatters on TikTok? I saw something like that like earlier
Oh, it's
today.
like I think it's like in New York, like, so basically if you manage to get into somebody's house and stay there for 30 days, legally they cannot evict you until the court figures it out. So like there's this viral like video of like a woman who she owns this house. She just went away for a month or something, comes back, tries to change the locks, and gets arrested by the police. Yeah, right there. It's her
Whoa.
house.
Because someone was.
Craziness.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. Because
Yeah,
someone was
it's
in
just-
there and had been there for 30 days.
For 30 days, and that's there's some legal. We have to think of the poor squatters, right? Because
It would be one thing if I find it. It would be one thing if the squatters were like a coordinated like anarchist rebel faction, but I have a really hard time believing they're actually an organized political unit. Sounds like just squatters looking for a place to stay, right?
Yeah, I think there's been like
Yeah, it's
documentaries of stuff like that. So
unorganized
like,
squatters.
there's been like documentaries and stories of how people did it. So then there's always going to be people that strategize and will be like, oh, now
Exactly.
I'm going to be like a lawyer. I'm going to find the law and stuff.
Oh, there's all this stuff on
exploit the law.
YouTube for
But
like train hoppers.
It makes more
stuff
sense
like
like
that.
if there's like
Oh,
abandoned
yeah,
buildings
yeah.
that nobody's using at all that could
Yeah,
perfectly house people.
I have,
that
I
makes
have
more
a
sense.
bit more sympathy for that. Like, if it's some abandoned
If it's a
building in the middle of
that
fucking
nobody's gonna
nowhere.
use.
But that's the
Or,
thing, though.
no,
It's
if
not.
it's, like,
It's
up to
squatters,
them.
though. It's not like the DSA leading the vanguard
Yeah.
of this charge
No,
of
no.
like.
But it just
we need
makes
to
it look
hold
bad. It just makes the
the
idea of-
landlords. You
It's
know,
like it can be used as a
it's an
political weapon to
anti-landlord
be-
action by proxy.
Well,
Like,
stories like this can make like the idea of like using like maybe like hotels or something that aren't really used anymore, but they're owned by somebody, and it's like they could house people instead.
they do that in the UK. The rough
yeah.
sleepers in the
Building.
UK put them up in
or
motels
something
and
like
shit.
that. Pay for it.
It's
The
just part
state
of like
can
a
pay it.
government program.
Can pay it.
It would be easy for them to do, but
Yep.
whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, they
They've thought
do.
about it
It's
here.
just
They've thought about
there's
it
not
here.
enough room for all the immigrants that are pouring into the
Oh.
America right now. There's not enough room.
Oh, like
I'm
immigration
sorry.
and
I
stuff.
love 'em,
I
God
wasn't
bless,
thinking about. I wasn't thinking about.
I wouldn't
That's
know
immigration.
because I haven't seen them
was thinking
personally,
about, like,
but
homeless.
from what I
It's
hear,
connected. Everyone's looking for a home,
New
a
York
job,
and LA
money.
seem
People are hungry.
bad. Yeah. Well, yeah,
Oh, all
obviously the
major
global
cities are
economy's
so
been
bad now.
yeah.
Like I walked around New York City before and after 9/11, and I didn't see giant homeless camps. And I'm near Seattle, and 20 years ago there was not giant homeless camps. And now I hear like San Francisco is just like a zombie land with poop and shit everywhere. So crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, some of those people are born and bred American, surely.
Well, I'm not saying that. I think everybody has a right to like health
You're just
care and
saying
stuff,
the,
but that doesn't mean you go like
The system
break
in
into
general,
somebody's house.
the
Yeah.
population in general, it kind of all
Oh.
trickles down, not trickles down, but like it affects the population
Well,
as a whole.
Yeah, it's all connected, but at the same time, you got to draw lines, or there's no line. So
Well, I mean, that's the
gotta
thing
make
that people
laws.
don't. I mean, under Obama, the thing is that they literally were drawing those lines. They were deporting people like crazy. They just didn't want anyone to know about it because he was a Democrat. Like,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
it's
what
like
does
everyone
that-
was
what does
happy
that tell
then, just
you?
not being
I mean-
able to see the dirt under the rug. You know?
yeah, doesn't that tell you like how much the mainstream media has complete fucking not complete control, but has a giant.
I feel like people brainwash themselves. People did not want to hear about the Obama deportations at the
That's
time,
fair.
and it's because it all goes back to his speech
98%
at
civilian casualty rate of drone strikes in Yemen and shit.
Yeah, we were also in the middle of Afghanistan and Iraq around that time.
He
I think.
also had like a majority,
wasn't
like
that
an
the time-
actual majority in the Congress, and flubbed it. That's what they call him,
getting blocked.
a bungler
Because he had all
Well,
the opportunity
yeah.
to forward policy and then
From
he
the, like,
gave
far
he
left,
gave
I guess.
everybody like a sliver of the pie, and then
That was interesting, though. You said you used to be a leftist, and your mom, God bless her, is still a Democrat.
Yeah, no, and
When
she
did
will
that
die a
change?
Democrat. When did that change? Probably the moment Hillary Clinton called everybody deplorables. But I've been.
Oh shit! I thought you were
leading-
gonna say Hillary Clinton.
that
I
was
thought you were gonna say the other thing she did
she
that
was
everyone
like
hates.
establishment
what
Democrat.
collapsed or she
No,
did all
the,
sorts of stupid.
The fucking, what is it?
Resident of Evil
The
Creek.
military operation thing.
Benghazi.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Benghazi. When Hillary Clinton did Benghazi, it was the moment.
When she did
Hillary
Benghazi.
Clinton email.
She did a
Okay,
lot
so
of
it was
things.
around
She had a private
2016,
email.
2017.
Oh yeah, and that's when I voted for Trump, and my family hated me at the time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I didn't vote for
But
Trump,
I
but I don't
voted
like
for-
talking about voting. I don't like voting
I know.
anymore.
I mean, I
It's just
get it. I totally
electoralism.
get it, but it's
sad.
like it's almost
We don't
like
even have ranked
you
choice
say
voting.
voting matters, but it's
Yeah.
almost, from my point of view, it's not the individual vote. It's how many people you can get around you to vote like-minded, and then you get all this propaganda, and it's all messy. And
It
so I
becomes
get why
people
people
with
just
the
check
cult of
out.
personality, sort of, which is Trump is like. Trump, to me, he's very entertaining. Like a lot of, I don't know. A lot of people
Are you
just
gonna
find him
gonna
entertaining.
vote for Trump or Biden or RFK or?
I'm gonna sit
No-
out for this
no
one
comments?
for surezies. I've
Yeah,
made
dude,
a lot
this
of
is, like, the most
embarrassing decisions.
This is the most low energy thing. Like I didn't even know the primaries were happening, and there's like a primary vote, and my ballot was just like there, like late. Like it was like too late to vote, and I was like, oh, I had a primary ballot. Like
no.
I'm so checked out of this election.
Talk to me about voting for Trump
So
in 2028. I'm not quite there. I'm not like.
It's like
I
either
think
way, it's just fucking fixed.
we're
in
certainly at a
certain
point.
direction.
We're certainly at a point where Trump and Biden.
There's too
are-
much going on for the establishment to let anybody like have a chance, quote unquote, like anybody like Bernie to run again or whatever. Like
I don't know. RFK might be in there.
Biden's bringing up Bernie right now and using his
But
talking
RFK
points
just-
to try to win against Trump. That's just sad. Like he's trying to use Bernie as like a little puppet, and then like
Who is?
on stage like Bernie Sanders and Biden, and then Biden's starting to parrot
That's
like
sad.
things like sort of paraphrase
boy.
like phrases that Bernie would always use. Like he's actually caring about that policy, but he's not going to do.
People are gonna fall
just,
for it,
just
though.
to get. He's like fusing.
Sadly.
It's literally like a DBZ fusion that he's trying to do of like, oh yes, I'm a hybrid. I'm a Bernie now. He's standing next to me on camera.
That's
I'm saying sort of the same
crazy.
thing as him. It's like so,
Let's go back to
it's,
when
like,
he was the
so
VP.
sad that that's what we use to convince humans. Like that's how we talk to society.
Let's go back to when Biden was the VP and he was
we're
giving
fucking
like
idiots, dude.
backdoor access to AT&T to
literally
like
just talk to us
trample
like we're idiots.
net neutrality and shit, creating a monopoly,
Yeah.
like a business monopoly. He's been rotten to the core since like the 80s. He was known as like the most bullheaded racist Democrat in
Yeah,
Congress.
and Hillary Clinton was saying that certain groups of people are super predators and shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she was
I assure you, I would
president of
never-
Evil Creek.
I never
against
liked the
video
guy.
games.
I don't have any buyer's remorse about anything like that. I'm not talking about voting. I swear to God.
I love Biden.
I won't tell you who I voted for, but it was Biden.
No,
wrote in
I
Bernie.
voted for Biden too. I thought he would like correct the ship or whatever bullshit, but like
No,
I don't know
knew
what
it was-
happened.
I
Probably
knew
like a
Biden would
third
win anyway,
stroke
so I
or
wrote in
something.
Bernie.
Like
You wrote in
nice,
Bernie,
nice.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's a
damn.
fuck you. It's like maybe the numbers. There's a number statistic somewhere, so it's like I'm gonna be in that statistic.
But I do want to just get out there. I am MAGA Trump 2024, and I think he's the strong leader we need versus Biden.
Do you think?
I
do
think
you think
Biden
that
is a
he's
weak
gonna?
leader.
Do you think he can end the war in Ukraine in one day?
No, but I think he's a
That's what he
strong leader,
said.
and I think
That's what
America
he
needs a
said.
strong leader. Yeah,
He
well,
told
presidents
us he's
say all
gonna
sorts
do
of bullshit when they try to get elected or when they are elected. They're all
Do you
liars
think-
and killers
Do you
and
think
probably
that?
child molesters, but it's like, which one is the best, least bad one? It's fucking terrible politics.
How about no evils?
Yeah.
We're always the left serve evils. How about no evil? Have you ever thought about that?
It's really funny because there's this like organic food brand called Lesser Evil, and I'm like every time
really?
I see it, I'm
Oh
like
yes, it's at a. Oh my.
I'm like it's like the
It's
Hillary
Lesser
Clinton
Evil.
chips.
Yes, it's less
That's
evil. It's like a vegan
Google,
brand or something.
Google was do no evil, and then Google removed that do no evil, but from their little contract.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, they actually removed.
They're
that?
allowed to do evil
I was
now.
always thinking
Yeah,
about
they
Legally.
did.
wow,
I remember that. I remember people making a fuss about it
because
too.
they've already done it.
They probably did. They would say, if you asked them about it, they'd be like, "Oh, we thought that was corny and outdated or some shit."
No, it was
Really, it's
it
'cause
was
they be
to,
doing
like
evil.
no, it was literally to instill integrity because like CEOs change hands and that whatever person that came up with that knew that and they wanted to instill some form of integrity in the company once it moves on and it's weird.
Yeah, like a
Well, that's the
message in a
thing.
bottle.
Google
Corporations
and
transcend
YouTube were,
people. Corporations
yeah,
will last longer than any of our lives. Like they're hundreds of years old at
maybe,
this point almost.
but they're
So
not sentient yet. Yet,
yeah, but they're treated
but
as
we're.
people. Did you know in the corporations
Yeah, I
are people?
know.
Oh
It's
yeah,
terrible.
that
Just because
weird. What is it?
Because it's
Citizens
legally.
United, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corporations are treated as people, and donations to them are free speech.
Martin is doing the Citizen United rant.
Oh, that's why everything's fucked up because they lobby and then they get the
It's a
laws
good
passed that
rant,
they want.
actually.
The
good
government is an extension of corporations.
It
and they
just
don't
it's a rant
actually
that people don't
represent
do
us.
anymore. You know what I
They
mean?
don't. None of our
Yeah,
local
yeah.
representatives actually represent the constituent population of their district. They only listen to like
No.
the banks and the lobbyists that
I
get
want.
paid
I want
to
to. I
come
want
into
to
their
agree with
offices.
that. Like
Not
I've had
not all
them
banks, not
come
all
to my
banks, but
doorstep,
corporations.
What do you mean?
doorstep and stuff
like
like,
Microsoft.
people running for Congress and like.
Oh
So
yeah,
they like listen to people,
No, there's
but I think the
local. Yeah, yeah.
higher up the chain you go, the more the money talks.
No, yeah, but
Like you get to
Yeah.
when I went to the
senator.
Capitol and stuff, there's always like those people, but those people
Yeah.
visit their office still, and then we talk to them about it, and they're like, their excuses are like they literally like we're like, does this money like change your opinion on anything? Does it like make you sway a certain direction? And they're like, they say like this. I heard this one metaphor that's like, oh, if somebody's gonna buy you dinner and give you wine and all this stuff, you're gonna take it, obviously.
Right.
So it's like,
It's
but
just political
it doesn't,
payola,
but
yeah.
it doesn't change my opinion. I don't get affected in my opinion. It's like, when you're getting wined and dined, yeah, it's gonna affect your opinion, whether it's subconscious or not.
Alan Freed,
Like-
the guy who coined the term rock and roll, he was put on trial
Can't
after
prove it.
he took bribes for record plays on his radio station.
But who else is going to the Capitol and talking to their constituent or talking to the thing or doing letters and sending them in like handwritten letters? That's what they actually care about, handwritten letters, like your local politicians, more than emails.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I believe that.
Well, I mean,
not
that
that
could
many
be
people are
changing though.
engaged, not that many
Imagine these
people are
younger
engaged in it,
politicians
or know
and
that
getting
they can do
ageist
that.
about it, like, oh, Granny is writing.
Well, I just
It'll
experienced
be-
a little bit. We
It'll be
can
a little
actually
different.
people can show up in person and talk to people, but that's not the way that our society is. That's not what we were taught in school that much. We just so
Yeah,
that's
but we
part
have
of
the
it, too.
internet now, so people are learning new ways of like
Getting their
everything.
attention. Yeah, and we can get
Well, getting their attention or educating. You know, the internet's
yeah,
a
or
powerful
educating
tool
ourselves,
to
yeah.
propagandize or teach.
Yes.
You know, it's
It's
powerful.
full of information and misinformation and disinformation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, let me.
And that's why I want to
Pop
become a
this Red Bull.
cyborg still, even if I get hacked.
That
I
was
don't
one
wanna
of my
get hacked.
questions. That leads me to one of my
really
questions.
good
That's really good.
firewall.
That's really good. I was trying to get to one
Really
of
good
these.
firewall, yeah.
A firewall between yourself and reality.
Well,
Like
when
Ghost in the Shell.
you are fused with
Yeah.
technology, you can be susceptible to the same attacks that technology can be susceptible to.
Okay, so you do want to become immortal through the footage that you create on your channel, which was one of the most interesting things that I gleaned from your other recent interview.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Have you seen
I mean, I
Videodrome?
think that's one of my favorite movies.
So it's Videodrome, but for YouTube, right?
Well, have you seen the Westworld TV show, the new one?
I seen like the first season or maybe up to the second.
I hear it's
season.
pretty good.
I really liked it.
I would recommend watching all 4 seasons just to, if you want to
Okay.
understand
I wanted to.
my mentality, I'd recommend watching all 4. Because I don't want to
Yeah,
spoil
it's
it,
really
but
good.
I would just say that what is a person? What makes up a person? Some people would say it's a soul. Some people would say it's just biology.
One thing, okay, so this isn't to spoil it. It would actually maybe help you understand the
Go
first
ahead,
season
go
more.
ahead, yeah.
But about Westworld, just because you haven't watched it.
Yeah, spoil the first season. That's fine, I think.
Well, think
Yeah,
about
sure.
the concept. Think about this concept. So there's synths. There's artificial humans, and they're so realistic you can barely tell whatever. But think about it, like your memory is fuzzy. Like as time goes on, you forget stuff. But if you had a perfect memory, then how do you know what's the present? How do you know when you're in the present, or if you're in your memory thinking about something in the past, you're like
that's
there
fucked up.
actually. So
Like
that's
a
how
dream, like a
that's how
waking
it's
dream.
shot. So you don't even know
yes.
what's what time period. You don't know what's in the past and what's in the future at first. You don't realize that until
Yeah.
later. So it's kind of a crazy concept.
That's why I
Like
thought
if you had a perfect recall. nobody
Yeah.
had- like that's
Yeah.
like those kind of concepts. Like
they use the term hypnagogic, and it's called hypnagogic pop. The dreamy, like proto vaporwave stuff. Like I think, what is it? What do you call it?
to the show.
Pocahontas is,
Yeah.
I think, a name of one of the bands. But point being, I always thought that hypnagogic meant memory, relating to memory, but it's actually relating to sleep. It's like dreamy.
Hippocampus.
Yeah, but same difference, really.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like the AI response from Google just says hypnagogic is an adjective that means relating to or occurring in the period of drowsiness immediately preceding sleep. But yeah, I didn't know what that meant until like just now. So
I always
not
thought
alone.
that it was because it was it was used to refer to vaporwaves type music, that it was like a nostalgia related
yeah,
term.
yeah, like hyper.
Yeah, Westworld.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch
hyper.
it. I'll have to watch it. I hear it's really good. I mean, Dan Harmon was really into it, and I like him.
Also, Fallout 4 story is a little bit like it. Because it has
Oh yeah,
synthetic
Fallout 4
humans.
has synthetic life and asks similar questions.
Yeah,
I'd also
there's-
recommend
There's
playing.
people like there's robots.
I have not played 4,
that
only
have
New
human
Vegas.
Skin and they have human features to
Okay.
where like you wouldn't tell unless you ripped them apart. Or,
Yeah.
like, what's
Have any of you watched the TV show? The
No, I was
Fallout
about to
TV
ask you
show?
about that. It just came out
Not yet.
recently.
You know,
I
Adrian
watched
had?
it with some friends. I liked it
Oh yeah,
personally.
yeah. I think it's worth watching. I would recommend it, even though I didn't watch it. It seems
I'll try
cool.
any video game, TV show,
It seemed like
more
it
or
was.
less.
They had some passion and it wasn't bad like the Halo show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan.
care about
Okay,
the
I'm not a,
service.
I'm a Half-Life fan, right? Like an old school gamer, but
Yeah.
but not
Source
as much
games.
Halo. But lots of respect for Halo. But I could see how they
PC
eviscerated the Halo TV show and disrespected the fans at like every
Yeah, because
fucking turn.
even the behind the scenes, like the actors and stuff were like, or the writers and stuff were like, we specifically didn't play the games. We specifically just wanted to go in
It's
different
so
territory.
disrespectful
They're
to the
calling it
source
silver
materials.
timeline. Yeah, and
It's
there's
so
so much.
disrespectful.
There's so much that they could, and then they were like, we're looking. They directly were like, we're not aiming it towards the people that have nostalgia for this. We're aiming it towards an entirely new audience, and we want new people in on Halo only. And
Yeah, you know.
But then the way they do that is like low intelligence fan service that only those
and then
people,
and then the main
old people
actor
understand.
that has his and the Master Chief, like his whole character was ruined because the whole point was that you never see his face. He never takes off his armor. Like he's locked in. Like he has PTSD. Like he doesn't want to take it off. Like he's such a warrior.
yeah.
You know?
They do
and
the
then
gritty
and then
Holden
you can
Caulfield
imagine
thing.
like the player could always imagine themselves as Master Chief because of that. Like he's a
Right,
blank slate
right.
sort of, and he's just a badass. And he doesn't really have that much to him. Like
I don't know. I want to play
simple.
Halo 1 again. How long is the campaign on that?
and then like his helmet's off all
don't
the
know.
time, and then the actor is literally like, you guys just don't understand it, and if you don't care to understand it, then fuck you, basically, too, at the same time.
Oh
It's just like,
man, oh that's
like,
bad.
you guys
Don't
just
do
don't
that.
understand what we're doing, and it's just like every turn. And then the second season was like, I hope it's good, I'm gonna give it a chance, and it was still bad, and it's just
Dude,
like,
Martin, you're such a Halo nerd. That's crazy. I didn't know
because,
you loved that
dude,
game so much.
There was gonna be District 9 was the bones of the Halo movie from like a different director, and it had
Really?
props that were supposed to be like part of the Halo movie and stuff, and it was one of the coolest
Oh, I love
sci-fi
District
action
9.
films. Yeah, and it's just a vibe of its own, but it was like based off of what was going to be a live action Halo, and it's so much more realistic looking and just
Wow.
weird.
Is that
and,
one
like,
they canceled?
District 9. I forget what it was. It was like this guy also made a short.
It was the same
He
guy who
made a
made
couple-
Chappie, right?
I think so.
Right.
There's like this Russian name or something, and he made a couple different Halo shorts, and one of them was like ODST soldiers like fighting on the front lines, and the CGI even was like good for today.
That makes
So-
sense how that movie was started as a Halo property because there's all that shit with the cow intestine. They make guns out of cow intestines, and it's just like the that weird. Isn't there
like
like
the flood or something?
Yeah, the flood is
the
like
scorn?
grossly
Oh, yeah,
organic.
it's inorganic. Yeah.
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 They make their
The flood.
That's
takes
crazy.
over, and it's like, yeah, it's like an amorphous like blob that takes, and then like it can remember everything when it takes over people's brains into this big mass. It becomes a grave mind.
It makes
And
me
then
want to
that
play
can take
Halo
over an
again.
entire
I don't have any
planet.
Xbox though.
It can become like a
That makes me
planet-sized
wish that the
organism.
Halo TV show was good because I'm sure they'd like focus
like
more on the
forgot
alien.
about
I heard the second season is about humans instead of like the aliens, which is what it's supposed to be about. But yeah, that's crazy. But I feel like the Fallout TV show respected the lore a
Yes.
bit,
Wait,
at
is it,
least, a little bit.
what is it actually? What Fallout does it actually follow?
It's like after all
it's like
of
a
the games, right?
mixture.
Oh,
Yeah,
weird.
I think it's set 10 years after Fallout 4, so that's like 200 and something years in the future. But the story is kind of like a hodgepodge between, I'd say, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and probably some of the first Fallout games, which I have not played.
Like Vegas and stuff.
I
Well,
tried
heard-
Fallout 1,
yeah,
but it's really
I saw
clunky.
a little promo with
Yeah,
Todd
Fallout 1
Howard.
was really clunky, really hard.
Yeah.
Todd Howard was talking about how like when they were working, Bethesda was like working with the people making the show. There were so many fans, and you could tell, like he could tell, like there was fans of each game, so they all wanted like pieces of each game, and like they were really
in the
passionate
crew.
about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So there was like people that really liked New Vegas and really liked this and that, and
New
wanted,
Vegas
like,
is
stuff
so
referencing
good.
it.
That was the first PS3 game I ever played.
Dude, I
Yes.
remember eating Texas toast and playing it so much, like that I had dreams of looking at the menus and like going in vats and shit in my fucking dream, and it was actually like bad. Like
God,
I would
what a
like
fucking
I'd try to
good game.
pause the game and
crazy.
they like wouldn't pause when I was trying to like stop the game and shit. But it was like
All
my
right, you
dream.
guys have convinced me. I'm reinstalling Fallout New Vegas just to try it again. I keep
should,
trying it, but I haven't
should I
made
play
it through.
3 or 4? Which is better?
Oh God, that's a hard.
Three.
I
Well,
would say
three- okay.
4.
Yes,
but
4
if
spoils
your
you
friend
with
says
gameplay.
3,
Okay, so
Four
if
is-
you want to play
four is
3, you have to
friendly,
play
or-
3 first.
What do you mean?
Because the gameplay is better and smoother and more quality of life improvements.
Isn't 3 more sandboxy though?
3 is more like atmospheric. It's like it's kind of like it's the first 3D one. Like it's the first one that Bethesda picked up and like made like they turned the lore into
So it's kind of like
a
the
different
early
form.
GTA games or
Yeah,
something.
Instead of like 2.5D,
yeah, it's like
like
GTA 3 kind of,
Yeah.
but not.
it's like Oblivion. It's a Fallout 3
Yeah,
skin
yeah.
on Oblivion.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
I-
weird too because GTA both of those series had GTA 1 and Fallout 1 are both way primitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first 2 ones were like
They each had like 3 distinct stages.
it was like
I guess.
2.5D or something. Would you say? And it was like the isometric view,
A Fallout 1?
the 1 and 2,
Yeah, yeah.
Fallout,
and
2 is probably
and it had
easier.
this-
Fallout Tactics
I
was
heard
another
it was
one.
one of the last games where like they had cutscenes where they use actual clay models for the guys, and so it has this weird
Wow.
effect on when they talk. It shows like they did animations for their face movements, and it just has this crazy character like where it's kind of creepy and eerie, but like zany. I don't know how to describe it. It's like the future.
We had Fallout 1.
What was it?
Real.
Retrofuturism. That's where it all started. The retrofuturism.
The first time I played Fallout 1 was around when it first came. It was like on Windows 98, but it was, yeah.
I just liked
I was a
looking.
kid.
I looked at a bunch of lore for like 1 and 2, like on the wikis and stuff. After a while, and I was like really invested in like knowing stuff because like there's like the forced evolution virus that created super mutants, and then there's like an offshoot of Nightkin that want to be invisible and they don't want to be seen, and they're obsessed with stealth boys, which are like a CI or like
Fallout
a
has
technology
some
to make
very
invisible.
cool storylines.
Yeah, and
Fallout
so-
has
there's so
some
many
really cool
factions.
lore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've had a friend that didn't even like playing the games, but he was obsessed with the lore
Yeah,
and like
it was like-
what vault
like-
had what experiment going on and stuff
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that.
like-
He
It's
was
like an
obsessed.
SCP.
Like Vault Tech like was doing an
It
experiment,
is.
and that's when like the experiment got out, and then that became like a regular animal in the wasteland or something, you know.
Yeah.
Or this and
Yeah.
that.
Well, but it's like BioShock, but probably
don't-
cooler
There's like a
cooler
cryptic-
writing.
origin of stuff. And
Yeah.
you just hear little rumors.
Aesthetically, kind of. You like Bioshock?
Bioshock's cool.
I'd say 4
It's
is
neat.
more Bioshocky, maybe. I don't know.
remember-
I like 4 better, personally.
It was
But
just
3's good.
I never really like played Bioshock, but I remember like that was the Xbox 360 like golden era, so that was just definitely up there.
Oh man, you gotta
Bioshock is
play
one of the-
Bioshock. Bioshock is
Well,
one
I
of the
did.
classic.
No, I played like Bioshock Infinite, and I played like a little bit, and I watched it. I watched my friends play it a lot.
I used to watch my friend play Bioshock too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch
I guess
him
they're
play it.
similar.
Yeah.
They both have twists, you know.
That was back
So
before
yeah, they're
Twitch
coming out with
existed.
another Bioshock game. So
That's sweet.
It's gonna look so good. For sure.
What is this?
Yeah.
What is the studio that makes it?
I'm not sure.
Something random, right?
I
They're not
forget.
known for
they
anything
keep like
else.
changing. Yeah, like
Um,
there's like Looking Glass Studios was them at one point, but then they changed their studio,
Yeah, I
they
need
did
to.
System
I need
Shock,
to revisit that
and then they
too.
went to Bioshock.
Oh, System Shock's supposed to be good.
Yeah, they made System Shock, and all the people that made System Shock, then they made Bioshock, or like the people from the company that made System Shock made Bioshock, and then Bioshock Infinite. Yeah,
I'm working my way through stuff like that. I haven't played Deus Ex either.
Deus Ex. Yeah, like I think
Deus Ex?
like Deus Ex,
I'm just kidding.
Deus Ex original, and then Deus
Deus
Ex
Ex
HR
original?
is the same situation between like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. People will like pick a favorite and then like attach to it. But I think
Human
playing both
Revolution,
games
right?
is good.
Yeah, dude. I
Yeah.
just feel proud
Is
that,
that-
I don't like to like be braggy, but I'm just kind of proud personally that I was able to play 3 and then play like New Vegas and then play 4 when everybody has
Sure.
this debate, and same for Halo. Like I just played them in order when they came out, and I'm glad I was like there for like.
Yeah, but then
I mean,
the only
all of it
band you
coming
know
out.
is the Gorillaz.
That's not
Got
even
'em.
true. That's
Got
not
'em.
even true. That's just probably the only band I know like every album and every song. I
No, I'm
listen to.
teasing you.
But
You spend an inordinate amount of time on it. I wish I could spend more time. It's like meditative. It's like good. It's like better than like the shit that
well,
I
I
do.
have more of my favorite songs mixed in with like hundreds of other songs now. I used to listen to the album.
No, I'm talking about you spend time on video games that I don't spend.
Oh, video
Like
games.
you're like
yeah.
in that mode more.
I like.
He's
Like,
into Helldivers
What's
and
Martin's
shit.
favorite video games?
Because
like, what does he
before-
spend the most time on?
Right now, I have Helldivers and I have a PS5. So like that was the first game that was kind of next gen. So
That's
I
cool.
almost got it. It's a little overwhelming after a while because it's so action packed that like when I come home from work at like 12, like it's like I don't want to like fight for my fucking life
'Cause
and
it's,
like
like, loud.
extract. Yeah, and like it's pretty intense. So, but then
Yeah.
I've been waking up earlier. Like sometimes video games help me out because then I'll get up earlier. And I'm like, dude, I'll squeeze in a couple hours of Helldivers instead of laying in bed.
Helldivers sounds
be
like
up.
adrenaline inducing.
Yeah, it'll wake
actually.
you the fuck up, dude.
does. I've
There's
not played
there's
it.
a couple games where like sweat has dripped down my armpit because I was trying so hard that I had that adrenal like reaction.
Yeah, it was
And
just hot in your
No,
room.
it was
What are you
literally
talking
like
about?
people. That's why people got so addicted to it because it gave you this rush that other games didn't.
Yeah, it's like Among Us or something.
It's
does
so well
something
designed.
different
Yeah,
that
and then
other
like
games don't do.
it fades after a while, but like when you're into it like that and you just get locked into it, it's like it was so fun at the beginning. I was having like a hella good time, and then I recorded some gameplay and thought it was super intense. And then I got like higher and higher difficulty like over time. With
I thought you were about to tell that story.
and then I
about-
looked back at my videos and it's like that's not even that intense, but I was like it was crazy at the time, you know. I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
well
yeah.
designed.
Isn't it so
They
hard
make
to
they make
translate,
you feel
like-
excited,
Like
exciting?
fun to video sometimes. Like you'll be having so much fun and
it's
record the
like-
clip,
Because
and
your
you'll show it to
emotion.
someone else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
it's
you
like
can't
you're in
put
a
your
certain
emotion into it.
And I was listening to music at the time, so it's like it's just the game audio. So it's like I was listening to like fucking Japanese future funk, like crazy shit, like exploding stuff, and then like it's like crazy to me. My like I'm having
That
a
sounds
sensory
hilarious,
overload,
actually.
and then like
People,
I look back at it, and it's like
a
just
giant
minus that.
friendly fire explosion, and it's just like it's like just like
And like you're in like the Japanese Neo Tokyo.
yeah. I haven't played it either, but I could from what I could tell, it's just like weird friendly fire situations.
It's supposed to be like half
looks
like
like
funny,
a
half
Intense
roleplay.
co-op game, like really
Yes.
intense.
It's pretty intense. You can play on lower difficulty, and like people like to try to play casual. There's some high level players that feel like they want to help low level players or something for like a wholesome time or whatever, and
Less toxic than Tarkov,
a lot of
probably.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
hopefully.
half like a dad game. Like older dads might play
I
it.
hear
and
it's
then,
kind of like
hug
Starship
emote you.
Troopers. It's kind of like making fun of itself, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
fun.
it's a parody on like hyper militarism and all that, and like going to
Okay,
space
what
age.
else? What else you got though? Before Helldivers came along, what
Oh yeah,
what were you really into? Or
what
I
was
mean, Final
playing?
Fantasy shit, obviously.
Yeah, I love.
And then you got he
always
plays
played
this
Final Fantasy.
one.
I played retro games. Like I played NES, and then I played PS2, and then I played PS1, and then I eventually played like all the consoles.
Talk
and
about
stuff.
the zombie
I was a
MMO.
console. Zombie MMO, Dead Frontier. I've been playing for like since like 2008. That was a browser game, or it was a flash, or not a flash game, but it was like, it was in, it still is a massive multiplayer game, and it has a real economy. So like when you're in like the outpost, you can trade with players and like set your price and all this stuff, and it like has an economy, and it still gets updates, and it's like top down.
Which game is this?
Dead Frontier. And then like they
Dead
made
Frontier,
it,
okay.
and then it was in browser, like all of it was in browser, and then they got rid of Flash or something like that, so they
Oh.
went to Unity, which is like the free.
Interesting.
game
It sounds
engine.
like a little bit like
And so
EVE
you have to,
Online,
like-
but with zombies or something.
Yeah, so like you do like your outposts and like all your inventory and stuff like in the browser still, and then when you go to play the game, it's like all 3D. Like they went from 2D to 3D and updated it. And they have a second game on Steam. I just
Do you
sucks.
still play that like every week?
No, I just got back into it for a little bit, and I played a little bit further than I ever had because I have like my own stuff. I played it at the library. I played that game like at the library for like an hour with my free time that I got, and then when they switched to Unity Web Player, you have to download something. So I couldn't like download that on a public computer
That's crazy.
each time you reset the computer, or each time your hour's up, it resets the computer. So you could put in like a USB and maybe get away with like putting on Minecraft or something if it was like already installed or something weird. I don't know, but
Yeah, I've
It's
played a
hard to
couple really
install
janky MMOs like that, and those are always fun.
yeah, it's really weird, and like it's like super niche now, but it's kind of like one of the best zombie games that's an MMO, to be honest.
Yeah. And then, yeah, me and him are both into Final Fantasy, like I said.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I got the free PS5 upgrade or I had like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then there's a PS5 upgrade that I think I got for free from just having the PS5.
Oh, the
So graphics will
DLC
be-
thing with
Uh,
Yuffie?
No, that's actually $15 still. Or it's on sale for $15 and it was 19. But it's just a PS5
was that
version.
good? The Final Fantasy remake, the
only
7
played-
remake.
I played like the start of it, which covers what is in the demo and then a little bit ahead, and so far like just the graphics were like outstanding.
I'm pretty sure. I think I got to the final dungeon
I
in
started slowing down
FF7
and taking
Remake.
pictures.
And I've been watching just the cutscenes because I don't have a PS5 yet for the second part, and it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. You'd have to be a
I
real
wanna
stick
still-
in the mud to be like, no, I only like the original Final Fantasy. It's a completely
No.
different game.
I just don't have the time. Otherwise, like I would want to play the original still. Even if I play this remake one, I still want to like play the original because I haven't.
I've
really
played
played
the
that one.
original. It's one of the few games that I've completed in my lazy ass gaming career.
I played most of the Final Fantasies besides 7.
But
I
yeah,
have not completed a Final Fantasy game.
it doesn't
I
seem
think
like
I'm
your thing,
playing one.
honestly.
But it's fun.
But I do like Half-Life and Valve and stuff.
Dude, do you like Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I liked it when it was new and
Yeah.
everybody was
back
nice.
in the day.
I liked Team Fortress 2 when it was new. I was really into that shit.
Yeah, back in the day when it was
Yeah.
like the original online.
Yeah, my first
Yeah.
laptop.
Now people don't really play it unless they mod it, or they just run ahead and they're like weird. Like they play it so much.
Well, I met a guy.
Yeah,
I was working at a bakery at the time, and a guy came in and he knew. I don't know. I guess the owner's son was just really friendly or something, but he ended up giving us codes for the orange box.
Oh hell yeah!
So I got all that shit for free. It was a humble brag.
Damn.
But
very
yeah.
good, very good.
I have a
Yeah,
couple.
like,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, yeah. I was wondering if you guys had more questions for
I have
me.
a couple like random ones. We had some luck with the transitions for these
Oh.
ones, but I wanted to ask you, what about your modeling, your clay sculpture modeling?
Oh yeah. Shit.
Right.
Did
Um,
you have you been going to art fairs and stuff?
yeah. Well, my mom has actually been doing art fairs for most of her life, so
Oh, cool.
like 60 years or something. I mean, not like every year, but she did it like a lot when she was younger. And I don't know if I went to any of her art fairs when I was younger, but I know she did that stuff. She's got a big loom in her workshop, and she weaves things sometimes.
Cool.
But yeah, I started going to the craft fairs on the island that I live on here, and she was going to these craft fairs, and I just started painting stuff because I got really bored. And then I don't know who did. Some guy on Steam said try clay, and so about 3 years ago, I started doing, or 2 years ago, I started doing air dry clay, and I think I've made like probably like 300 different things, ranging from like actual good things to just crap.
Well, I mean, like,
Just
you're gonna have to experiment to like get better at it and stuff.
Air
Do you
dry,
ever
so
look
you don't
up?
need a kiln for it.
yeah.
Do you ever look up any
Yeah,
YouTube tutorials
exactly.
or like? Ways to
I've
get
watched a little bit
details?
of YouTube tutorials, but I kind of have just winged it. But I've
That's a good way to.
realized lately that I do need to kind of do more professional. Like air dry clay is great for beginners because it just dries and you can just make these little details and you got these little, metal tools or whatever. Try not to poke yourself with them. I have. It's very painful.
Can you
But you
still
kind of
sort
need them
of
for the
can you still
details.
sort of
Or
carve it
some
once it's
gloves.
dried? Or is it
Well,
like
yeah, basically, like it starts to
Right
dry
chip or crack.
when you take it out. So about like within 3 hours, it'll start to get kind of harder. But you could still make little details like within 12 hours or 24 hours, depending on the clay. What I found
interesting?
out is that I can time stop it by putting like I make a shape, like a spire or something, and then I'll put it in a Ziploc bag. And then when I'm ready to carve, I'll take it out of the bag, and then I can carve. And then if I'm not done with it, I can put it back in the bag. And I just gotta not, fuck with it. And
Yeah,
it's
you have to, like,
so
It keeps it from drying as fast.
do you have to
yeah, it's
vacuum
like
seal it?
stasis. It's like cryostasis. Yeah, basically.
Yes.
It doesn't
Put
have
it
to be
in
vacuum
cryosleep.
sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it in cryosleep.
That's kind of
And
weird though. There's
unfortunately, well, what's up?
there's
What's
a
weird
time
about
limit
it?
a time limit on it. It's like you're speed running
Oh yeah, yeah, it is.
carving.
But that's what's great about it. For a lot of people struggle with creativity, right? And so now, like, I encourage everyone to just like I like Das clay, DAS. I think it's a German. Yeah, made it. No, Italy. Made in Italy.
Das is good.
That's
Das
good.
clay. Das is good. And like, you just you get a little bit out, and then it forces you to like work on it, because there's a time
You gotta
limit.
think quick. Yeah. You gotta think quick
It's cool.
about it.
Wait,
It's a
where
cool
does-
hobby.
Hold on a second. Where does the term "das is good"? I'm sorry.
Oh, that is good, or this is good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Das
yeah.
is good. It's German.
It's
just
German.
German for this is okay. That's
Das
funny.
is good. Das
Why
is
is that like?
verboten.
I always wondered that. I
Das is
swear to God.
verboten.
This is random, but I always wondered that because it's a quote. It's a little joke in the
One
movie
thing-
AI, artificial intelligence.
Another creative thing that I wanted to bring up with you is like,
Yeah.
so we're both in
Oh,
niche
yeah.
sections of gaming. Like you like to do map editor that's in source for like Half-Life, right? They have like their own map. Didn't they have their own online mode where you can host your own server and like download maps and stuff?
That's what Sven Co-op is,
Or,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Or it's like
basically.
a modded thing. Because I would go, since like Far Cry 3, I would do this on console, but they had a map editor. And I would start making maps, and I started getting better and good at, like, actually good, because I'm sort of I draw anyways. But I started
Sure.
to actually get good at making, like, environments in games, like mountains, or, like, shaping, like, the
Right
terrain
on.
and stuff, and, like, placing the assets they give you, because they have a full map editor. So it's like,
Yeah,
we
it can be
kinda
really
link on
fun.
that. Yeah, making maps and stuff. It's just like super
Right
niche and
on.
like it's hard to get people to actually be able to play them, and it's a lot of effort and stuff. But
you do-
It's fun.
In
Yeah.
Have you made a lot of Half-Life
Level-
maps?
Because I don't know. Is it? Do you kind of like? Do you like to like kind of feel like a developer, like make maps for people to play?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I've probably made like 50 to 100 complete maps, and then like several hundred not complete
that's
at
cool.
all.
Most
What's
of
like
mine
the
are,
weirdest? What's
most
the
of mine
weirdest
are
one
fully
you've done?
designed.
Have you done one that's like
Like,
a miniature, like Mario Kart
like
level or
I
something?
know, like, is like, oh, sure, that's like amateur stuff. Like, is it like, I don't know if I can even say on your podcast. Like, it's so like,
Oh, it's
it's
so
not like
spicy.
disgusting. It's spicy. It's just
Dungeon
yeah, it's
Is it
crawler.
like?
spicy.
Is it
It's
a
a dungeon
German sex
crawler.
It's a
dungeon?
spicy thing. It's
Spicy
something like
meatball.
that. But that's
No,
kind
I
of
think
what's nice about it because it's niche and not everybody goes to these things. So that's why like I'll sneak in some Sam Hyde memes into the maps, and
Oh
some
yeah,
people will get
you
it,
like
some
to
people
put in the
won't.
Easter eggs. See, like that's a developer thing.
did
Yeah.
anyone ever make the Fish
Yes.
Tank one house in Source? I think I saw that. At
They
some point.
did. They did, and I was
That
working
was
on one
interesting.
too. For
I
like
almost thought
Half
about
Life.
map. Yeah, see, and like
I
it
never
popped in my
finished
head a
it.
couple times.
There isn't one for Half Life 1, or is it 2 that you play?
I play Half Life 1, and
Yeah.
I almost made a fish. I made the lower level of the fish tank house, like with the kitchen and
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
that's
the
that.
place where they
awesome.
meet.
If you have any
But I
images
didn't
of
get
that, I
pretty
can use it for the
accurate.
episode image or something.
Okay, yeah,
That sounds so
I'll
cool.
see.
I remember when you were
Actually,
doing
yeah,
that,
I'll
and
find it for you.
I saw some of that on Twitter, and like I almost thought about. That's when I was starting to think about like the map
Can you
editing that I did,
imagine?
and I was like, what if we could build that on Far Cry 2, and it's like really like
That'd be great.
detailed. It's kind of more
Dude,
detailed.
loading in has like fucking Daniel
build-
with like a
You could
like
literally
a
like
fucking
you can have
Uzi.
you can spawn in like a whole cabin, like it's like Montana based, so it's like American assets in Far Cry 5. It's more like American city assets, but like it has like pine trees like Washington and stuff.
Yeah, you guys
too,
should
so it's like the
compete.
most like this
Far Cry
environment.
versus Half Life.
I even met.
Fish Tank
I used
map.
to be in like a PlayStation community. Like, see, I'm a super nerd about this shit, but there's like a community when PlayStation had communities. There were like these hubs
Yeah.
for games, and there was one for Far Cry map editor. So I got to like kind of link with all these nerds that like to build maps and shit. And there's some really fucking talented people that make like AAA level like detailed stuff all the time. that
Yeah.
Nobody plays. And they make videos on their
I
channels that
know.
get like 400 views.
Far Cry's a really
and they, like,
underrated
have-
game, kind of.
Yeah.
I've never played it, but I have
And like
watched
I
it
met
quite
this
a bit.
guy called Ian Sane Artist, so I'll just say his name because that's his channel name. It's like IAN, and then Insane Artist. He's like a painter, and he helped collaborate
Yeah.
with me. He does Dreams now, which is like it's another game where you can make any game you want within the game, basically.
Yeah.
And he makes like actual hikes that he goes on in Washington and stuff, and he makes like mountain ranges, and he's made like Mount
that's
Rainier
cool.
and Far Cry
Whoa.
5. He's made like he even made like versus multiplayer maps that we played. Like I chose his maps on Far Cry 5 and played them, and they were like Stevens Pass, like fucking like zip lines in like a mountain range and like cabins, and then you're like killing each other like with hunting weapons and shit. It was so cool. Like
That sounds
and it's so
fun.
niche, and like there's just these little things like people are so creative in creative games.
I wanted to make like an
That let you-
RPG
That's what's
maker
great about
version of my
YouTube and
hometown.
Twitter is that you can share, you know, these videos
Yeah.
of these little niche things now, like
Yeah.
easily. Especially just use X and attach a hashtag, put gaming, and then put the game, and you can get people to view your maps and stuff. Getting them to actually download and play, that's a whole nother game. But
Exactly,
you can get them
because
to
the Far
watch.
Cry 5's a bit outdated, and there's a newer one, but it doesn't have map editor. So like I was a bit pissed at Ubisoft that they're like kind of phasing it out, and now they're like failing as a company. So I
That's
don't know
up.
if they'll have a new one ever. I don't know if they'll ever like have anything besides Far Cry 5 to do that on, and it's so like in the past now.
Well, okay, Martin, what's the weirdest map you ever
2016.
made on Far Cry 5?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, what's
Like
the
the-
weirdest,
like
coolest?
Well, when I started, I was, dude, on Far Cry 3 is when I started, and I was making like weird avatar maps where the grass was blue, because like the grass would change colored based on the texture you put underneath. So I got like the grass to turn blue. So I was like making avatar levels and then like putting manta rays, and they weren't deep enough in the water, so they would float on top of the water, like making alien planets and shit.
You
Like
did
weird
No
shit.
Man's Sky before
I was
No Man's
I was
Sky.
making No Man's Sky before No Man's Sky because that was
Man's
actually
Sky.
my dream game before it came out, dude. It's like
No, that's the answer to the question from earlier. Is what's the game that you're super into?
No Man's Sky. I just like I like games that are like open world or like give me freedom to like do what I want and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I like, just circling back, that's why I like Rust, and I have over 5K hours in it, even though I fucking hate it and uninstall it and reinstall it repeatedly.
That's so
It's
many
fun.
hours.
Yeah.
And it's sandbox,
It's like
and you
fun and
can
shitty at the
just
same
paint, and you can talk to people, and you can fuck people over, and
Have you
I don't
played
like
it a
to do
bit?
that, but that you can if you want to.
Yeah, you can
so-
use voice chat and you can like trick people and you can scam
and you can
them.
like
Can you
build
kind of just keep to
under
yourself and
build
like
into
do like
someone's
crap
face,
stuff?
and
It's like actual anarchism
Sort of.
simulator.
I want
In a
to.
way.
I want to play that game. That reminds me. Cryo, have you heard of a game called Tower Unite?
I like it, but they banned me from global chat for saying a naughty word, so I refunded it.
Oh no! You know that game and you can't access it? That's horrible.
I
I won't
could,
talk
but I have
about
a
it then.
moral. I have a moral. Hey, I can't even say a naughty word in my little private room or whatever. I
That's
mean,
crazy. I haven't played it in a
yeah,
minute, but I was looking to get back into
I've
it,
heard
and
it's
now I
good. I've
just
heard it's fun. I
I'm
just I
salty
can't,
now.
ugh,
I'm
I'm a
salty
little
for you.
salty.
I'm
Yeah,
salty for
yeah.
you. Okay, I have one other.
Change his
I have one
opinion.
other hard hitting question, and then we're at about an
Yeah.
hour now. We can wrap up.
All right.
Because I've been to a church or two in my day. I was raised
Okay.
I was raised well by my mom. That was the other thing that sort of stood out to me
Went to
is
youth
that
group.
you're kind of a hardcore evolutionist. You're into aliens and cryogenics
Kind
and
of.
stuff. You
Yeah.
like don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you don't like whatever the like astrology or whatever.
That's our
I
Right.
know that because you accidentally said astrology when you meant astronomy in one of your videos. But it's like,
I
but
got
then
angry.
you're like kind of about Jesus. And my question was, you said that
Yeah.
you've been to church once or twice, and they were like, oh, well, it's good to have a sense of community on the Tyson interview. And I was wondering
Uh-huh.
what your thoughts on like what your relationship with the actual book is. Like, is that, or do you consider yourself
Cool.
like a gospel Christian, like like mystic Christian scientist, something
Uh,
like that?
I'm definitely not a hardcore Christian. I like to call myself a light Christian.
Is it kind of just like
Like,
the moral teachings? Like
well, yeah,
like
I
treat
like the
people
moral
well and don't
teachings
like
a lot. Yeah,
don't
the
shift
golden
around
rule.
money and like
You know.
don't like be all about money. Be about like being cool.
Yeah, I felt like I just
Feed
feel like they
people and
kind of
shit.
tossed that question to the side by being like, well, yeah, it's good to have community. And it's like, but you're an intellectual dude. You like to philosophize. Like, I wanted to pick your brain about that a little bit because for me, it's
Sure.
like Jesus is like
You just think of,
intellectually stimulating. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, sure. I love the idea of religions, and I like Jesus. I don't like when, like, I don't know how to say this. Well, I have some people on the island that I know that are Christian, and they're very, very. They've been so nice to me and my family. That, like, they've helped fix our pipes when our kitchen sink wasn't working. Like, and they'd give us like gifts at Christmas. Very nice, amazing people. That,
Yeah.
but like sometimes, like when my
Charitable.
friend died. Yeah, charitable. But like when my friend died, the other person was like implying that they went to hell, and I'm thinking, you're implying that my friend, because they didn't
yeah,
believe
that
in
doesn't
Jesus,
really help.
is burning forever in horror. That's kind of fucked up.
Or
Yeah,
like
and it's like
sometimes
so-
Christians
and
will be like,
they're not considering like the effect that has on you at all. Like they're
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is how the rules
Exactly.
go, and it's like, or aren't you passing judgment? Like
The-
that's what I think is hypocritical. That's kind of passing judgment without directly saying it, and that's not supposed to be until Judgment Day. You can't say whether somebody goes to
And
hell
I
or
don't
not.
think
You
this
can't really
person was-
say it. Like if you're a real Christian,
And that's
you
what
shouldn't be
I'm
talking
talking about.
about that.
Like, most of the time, I don't have any problem with Christians, or
When they try to
I have
like
more problems with
when they try
Yeah,
to
go
like
ahead.
be the judge of where the
Right,
morality
right.
stands.
they say
that's
that everything
annoying.
happens for a reason and get like hardcore like predestiny.
It's like
Right.
bugs
So,
me.
like, it kind of depends, like, I think what church you go to. Like, I went to some churches when I was a child that said my mom would burn in hell. And, like, that turned me off of Christianity for a long time. But I came to this island, and I'm still struggling with alcoholism and alcohol addiction. Very hard. Alcohol causes, according to Google, 3 to 5% of is related to 3 to 5% of all deaths yearly. Look it up.
Oh, not just
Like, it
suicides,
is a
but also
surge.
probably like car accidents and stuff too, right?
Organ damage, suicides, death, people. It's just
yeah.
a festering sore on society that I
Well,
think
they
it's
had the
okay to have a drink every
prohibition.
once in a while, but it's
Yeah.
just everywhere. And if you're struggling with it. Anyway, so
No.
that's why I
See,
started going to church on the
I
island,
can
and it was
definitely empathize with
incredibly
that.
helpful for me.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
because it's
really
a good
helpful.
alternative to like
No.
12 steps, right?
Yeah, I don't want to get too
Oh,
much
yeah,
into it,
yeah.
but I definitely relate with you because I know people that struggle with it as well, and
Yeah.
it's really hard because of how readily available it is,
It is
and
hard.
and it's like if you want it, like they can never say no. If you want to buy something, they'll always
I
sell
mean,
it to you.
Yeah, and it
technically,
gets
So
they
so
can refuse the
progressive
it's
service,
all
so
on
but they
it's all
slowly.
almost
on
never
you.
do.
It's all
Yeah.
on your shoulders
Yep,
to
it
quit
is.
and stuff. And it's
Yep.
I understand though, but keep fighting
It's
the
hard.
fight. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
Keep
don't.
it in your heart.
Now I feel like I don't want to
try
leave
it,
the
but,
interview on that because
no, 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 no,
then you're
no.
just like the token addict. I will say that I've been like literally
No, this
diagnosed
guy
with
is
like an addictive
conscious.
personality.
No,
I
you're
get it
conscious
for
of it,
Right.
sure.
I
dude.
mean, we all
It's
got problems, right? We all
no,
got
as long as you
flaws.
stay
That's the way
conscious
God
of
made
it.
us,
I'm just
right?
saying,
I
like
mean,
I'm saying you're not alone in it, and I know people that
thank
are
you.
struggling with it too. So I definitely relate with that.
No,
Well, thank you.
some of my heroes,
And that's
both
why I talk about it, because
parasocial.
people struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you gotta realize like you're not isolated. Like it is like a societal problem, and like we're all in this together and stuff. So
And
Oh,
I just want to throw this in real quick, please, because it really helped me along with going to church every now and then. My cat. Having my cat, having something
hell
to take
yes.
care of meant that I didn't just have to take care of myself. I had to take care of something else. Now, for some other people, that can be a child or a parent, but or friend. But for
Yeah.
me, it was my cat and my family.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, I got my cat
And
a couple
friends.
years ago, and I felt kind of the same. Like I was finally like able to be in the position to take care of it, but it was helping me
Oh,
get out of bed. Like I have to do these chores for it. I
sure.
had to
Like,
take
I
care
don't
of him.
recommend, like, if anybody's listening and they've got like needles lying all around, go, don't just like get a cat instantly.
Oh
But
yeah, like you want to
it,
take good care of it. Like
yeah,
it's
you
Like
like
want to be in an
hypodermic needles?
oath.
the point. I
Place.
think the point. I don't know if this is the point you're making, but it's like you want to take really good care of them, so it's motivating you to be on the top of your game for somebody else at
Yeah,
It
least.
helps you take
yeah.
care of
Even
Even though,
yourself
Jordan
as
yeah,
well.
Peterson, one
because
of his
it's
rules was
remember,
take
yeah.
care of a cat. Yeah,
Oh, really? With the 12 rules?
Well, it
yeah.
helps your
I want one of his
responsibilities.
rules. It's
It's
like
Yeah.
take
just
care of a cat, pet a cat or something.
I gotta.
they're easy maintenance, but it's like regular stuff you got to do to keep them happy, and they
Yeah,
won't fail to remind you of what they want you to do.
no,
They're not smart enough, that's for sure.
They ask you for stuff, so
they will.
ask
They
you to
will.
do stuff.
Yeah, a cat recently entered my life and it really, really improved things.
Yeah, it's like
She,
like,
it's a
annoys me
psychological
sometimes, but then, like,
purring
I annoy her
literally
sometimes.
calms people.
Yeah.
Calms your spirit.
That's life.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I have here? I think we covered everything except for possibly some crazier heavy hitting stuff. I want to invite you to come back another time in the future. I'll probably call this episode the CryoKeen 1 with a number. So open invitation. There's a couple other people involved. Martin is my go-to, but he can be kind of a stickler, He's
See,
what do they
my
say?
life-
Hard to pin down.
Yeah, I'm not like perfectly put together either, and I have like work and all that stuff. So it's like sometimes I'm gotta skip a week, and then it's a long time before I can do something because it's like, oh, we're waiting like 2 weeks, whatever.
So I'm always happy to bring other people into the
Yeah.
project.
I haven't been able to like
I'm happy to talk
dedicate
to you
time
guys
like every
and to
time.
anybody else.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
we went really well, so I'm happy to come back.
Yeah, we could talk about some sort of a sci-fi movie. Sometimes I do movie review episodes when those have been like solo episodes, which are like their own thing. But I would be willing to make it.
I gotta pop into his stream when he does more like movie nights or something.
Yeah, you
So
can
I've
come.
seen
You
some
can come
cool
to my
animes.
stream. I'll make
I
a
saw a cool
PNG
anime
tuber for
once.
you.
We saw some cool stuff.
Yeah,
that I normally
yeah.
watch.
Same here. You
I've been
guys are
getting
welcome
into
to
horror
my
movies,
movie
but
nights.
yeah, I
yeah.
like sci-fi too. We should link up with the with those sci-fi TV shows you're talking about. I hope that's not too
Stargate.
TMI,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but yeah, it sounds fun, man.
But
Oh yeah,
I'll watch
Yeah.
Westworld on my own. I'd be vegging out watching TV, so
Eastworld, Northworld.
I'll put that
Yeah,
at
and
the
I
top
do.
of my list.
Yeah, I do. I recommend watching it by yourself because I think that it'll be more of a impact.
Oh,
you know?
Black. We were just talking
You
about
gotta pay
Black Mirror
attention to
too.
it.
I gotta get back on some of that too.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well,
thanks so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
good
You're
talking
welcome.
to you.
Yeah, this will come out. This is going to be Sunday. I should have mentioned it at the top, but Sunday the 21st of April. Happy 420, everybody. And go to the patreon.com/friendship emulator. There's some comics that I made. Premium episodes coming in the future.
Did you want to plug anything, Cryo?
Oh yeah, and please youtube.com/CryoKeen. I really need to get to 5,000 subscribers, or else
Yes.
nothing will happen.
Subscribe
Check
to
out
this man.
Cryo on
Right.
Twitter. You be posting
And
the
then-
clips from the YouTube. And get all the hyperlinks.
I do have my crappy little YouTube, which is Maru10 with a 7, so MARU7EN, and I post my little gameplay videos.
Yeah, and I'll put
Right on.
I'll put a link to your YouTube in the episode description as well. Be sure to do that.
Alrighty.
All right,
That was
thank you.
awesome. It was awesome.
All
Check
right.
it out.
Thanks, guys.
For real, everyone, for real though, the CryoKeen YouTube is. I've been having a lot of fun. It's
Yes,
cozy.
let's boost it.
It's funky. Check it out. I'm not even just saying that.
Good stuff.
All right, peace. Have a nice day.
Peace.
Peace.